Hey peeps, my name is Cinnamon. Just a heads up, my mic isn't the best quality, so you'll have to forgive me for that until I can get like a good mic. But yeah, so these are going to be my videos that I'm starting to do where I talk about stuff and maybe review some things. I have a lot of things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, I guess, is how I got here. Um, it's actually a journey over a few years. Basically, how I moved out of my parents' home and I'm now not moving, but living on my own. And it started when I was in Tennessee. Now, I'll also say that I won't be able to mention any times or how long it's been or whatever because I have no concept of time. I plain forgot how many years it's been and how long it took or what year it was or anything like that. So I don't expect that from me. So, when I was in Tennessee, for a while it was my mom and my dad living there, and I lived with my brother. Uh, but then my dad got an opportunity in Indianapolis in Indiana, and so he went to live over there in an apartment and just work over there while we stayed in Tennessee. And this was okay. We didn't really want to move again. And at this point, I had already like graduated high school and everything. I think I was like 21, I want to say. And what happened from there, I started getting to a lot of arguments with my mom. And this wasn't entirely unusual because ever since I was 16, I've kind of like started to understand the things that my parents did that just frustrated me to no end. And what happened with my mom was it got to a point where my mom told me that either I get a job, go to college, or I would be kicked out. Now, what frustrated me the most about this was that I had been applying to jobs. I had been applying since I got out of high school for jobs. And I would hardly ever get any response back, and I only had like one interview after years of applying to places. And so it literally was out of my control as to whether or not I would get a job. And my mom knew this, but she also couldn't understand it, I guess. So obviously my only actual option was to go into college. I did not want to go into college. I did not have the money for it, and I didn't even know what I would go into college for. So I ended up going into online college for an arts institute, and I only stayed there for half of the first semester. And it frustrated me too because I had to take out student loans. I had no choice. And what happened then is like I was talking to my friends and everything, and as I was in this college, I was just getting more and more stressed. I was constantly I was still fighting with my mom, and I was just not doing well mentally. It was just really difficult for me, and my friends eventually, like, pointed out, your mom and your situation isn't that great. And like they talked to me, and I was lucky where like one of my friends was able to offer me a place to stay at in Florida. And it took some convincing because it was very much like this is a big thing. All these people that were my friends, I only knew online. I've never met them in person. So it was very difficult for me. And also to take that step to leave my parents' house. But what I ended up doing it was I dropped out of college without telling my mom until, after the fact. And of course I have $3,000 in debt to this stupid college that did literally nothing that I didn't want to go into, and I didn't want the loan, but whatever. And when I like basically I and my friends came up with a plan where I would fly down to Florida to stay with my friend, and I completely lied about it to my parents. I told them that I would be going to Florida to stay for like a couple months with a friend that they already knew in person, but it wasn't that friend. If I had told them it was one of my online friends, they would have never let me go. So I got everything packed, and I knew I wasn't going to be coming back, and I flew to Florida. And it was okay, like, for a start. It helped me get over homesickness so that I wouldn't be, like, wanting to run back to my parents or anything like that. Uh, and I was very thankful to all my friends that helped me with that situation, and pretty much everybody that did help with the situation because I needed a lot of help. I needed to come up with the money to actually save myself and you know get out of there. So now I was in Florida, and that was when I was able to meet in person another close friend who like lived close by to where I had gone in Florida, and that was great because we were able to get really close then. And the friend I'm talking about now is the close friend. He is my roommate right now. He's basically become like a brother to me. And anyways, the in Florida when I was living with one of our friends, I was okay. It was all right, but um, something happened where our friend was falsely accused of something. They had no proof or anything about it, but they still ended up going to jail and getting 30 years. That was really difficult for all of us because not only was, well, now I had to find somewhere else to go, but also that was Jitty's like assistant also, where like she would help him with so many things, keep him on track and everything, and now she was gone. Um, but hey, that's Florida, where you're guilty until proven guilty and all that jazz, but whatever. So I moved to go stay with my dad in Indiana, which was fine because my dad I get along better with my dad than my mom, when my dad isn't drinking, but for the most part, I get along with him better because we have a lot more in common and he's mostly sane. And so being in Indiana with him was okay. And that was when my boyfriend was able to move in with me and my dad. My dad then had, like, it took a while, like maybe a year or two. Like I said, I don't know how long it was, but my dad discovered he didn't like working for the company he was currently working with, so he really wanted to go back and live with my mom to help take care of her and work with the company there. So again, I had to find somewhere else to go, and but I also had my boyfriend with me, so we had to like figure out what to do. It turns out that Jitty had moved out of Florida too and was in Illinois, which worked out for us because then we were able to decide, well, how about the four of us all move to Oregon? And at the time, it was when we did a small move, me and my boyfriend, to where Jitty was in Illinois, and to bring together our group. And it was me, my boyfriend, Jitty, and Jitty's boyfriend, but also Jitty's boyfriend's mom. The plan was for all of us to pack everything in the mom's house, and we would all just, take a big move to Oregon. But there was like some problems already going on with the mom and Jitty and his boyfriend, where like it just wasn't good. So we weren't going to stay with the mom for very long once we were in Oregon, anyways. But like, it probably took like a week. It might have been, well, it might have been a week or two. I cannot remember. I swear, I'm sorry, but I can't. But she was getting a lot worse, and we were getting all very uncomfortable, and it kept being really bad until one night where it was the stupidest thing. And I won't go into extreme details about this whole situation. Um, I'll save that for a different video. But basically, uh, she started a fight with all of us over food. It was a very stupid thing that was all in her own delusions of whatever. Um, and she was like drinking while taking antipsychotic meds that, or whatever meds she was taking, she wasn't supposed to take while drinking. And what ended up happening was she disowned her son and told us all to get out of the house. She kicked us all out. So we were freaking out because we're like, okay, what are we gonna do now? Where are we gonna go? Luckily, we had a really good friend come to Illinois to rescue us and bring us down to Texas to stay there for a bit. And that was great. So we were able to, the four of us, go down to Texas and stay there for 2 months while we replanned everything. Now that everything's been like tossed in the air, and it was difficult because we really had to like figure out how we were gonna get to Oregon now. But on the plus side of everything, we ended up being able to plan our trip where, like, we would have the truck go on its own with all our stuff or whatever, while the rest of us, we would all be, we would move ourselves, but it would be basically a road trip because we had another friend who was able to help us get some really nice hotels along the way. Uh, so every night we were able to stay at a really nice hotel and basically be spoiled a bit. Um, which we really needed at that time because we were all so stressed and it was very difficult. So, when we went on our trip, we stayed at different hotels, ate some really good food. We even went to Vegas and stayed in a VIP suite, and we made it to Oregon. And I'm so glad we are here now. I This is where Jitty was born, but I feel like I should have been born here. It's home. So after that, we there's been like a lot of stuff that happened. Like a lot of stuff. We kept having to move to different apartments, like every other year or something. Until finally, we are now here. Where we live in a 1 bedroom apartment. It's just me and Jitty. I'm still with my boyfriend, but he doesn't live here, and he's also my fiance now. He's not just my boyfriend, but he's over living with family for the time being. So yeah, it's just me, Jitty, my fish, and our 2 cats. So yeah, that's basically how we ended up here. Yeah, it's a trip really, because it was a very stressful time. I'm glad it's over now, but our current plan is we're hoping we'll be able to save enough, money to get a house in 4 years now. That's the hope, anyways. Until then, I am now making these videos. I do freelance artwork or whatever. This video is probably a mess, but it is my first video, and I'll probably do better as I go. I have a speech impediment, so I'll get caught on myself a lot. But hopefully, with the videos, it'll help with my talking as well. But like I said, I have a lot of ideas that I want to do. I also want to do a uh, F&Q, or is that what they're called? No, Q&A. Questions and answers. That's right. See, my brain's just derping. But yeah, I want to do a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions about me, you just comment below and I'll make a video answering those questions later on. Other than that, I have like a lot of ideas of videos to make, and one of them, which I'll probably make next, is my evolution theory. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and hopefully I can do more videos now that I have Sony Vegas and I can like mess around and and yeah. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon or my Redbubble, or at the time of this video, I don't know if I'll have my Etsy up yet or not. But if it's up, then go check that out as well. But I am Cinnamon, or Sin, whichever you want to call me. I don't care. And you guys have a good day. Just go out and enjoy your day if it's nice out. If it's not nice out, and just stay inside and enjoy the indoors, I guess. Keep warm. The how do people end these? I'm not quite sure, but I haven't thought of what I should say as my and it's my what's it called, a goodbye. See ya, guys.